another way in which ideas come in my speaking, and if you are wanting to be a writer and you get an opportunity to speak, always take that opportunity. You not only give, but you receive so much as you talk with people and you listen to them. And as I began to speak at women's retreats and such as that, women would share with me their stories, and some of their stories were incredible. I just couldn't fathom some of the things that people went through, but not only went through, but more often than not saw God's grace in how He handled that, how He brought them through that. And so I began to ask permissions. When I heard a story like this, I would give them a little paper and I say, may I have permission to use your story sometime? At that time, I had no idea how I would use it. But I began to gather these stories and began to get these permission slips to do this. And one time when I was talking with the editor that had done the Wonder book and the Runaway book, that was Discovery House for both of those, they were wondering if I had any other ideas. And I said, well, I've got all of these stories. Let me see what I can do with them. And so I began to prepare some chapters and some articles around these stories. And at first it was this, but there were so many of them that it became 2 different books. And it's out of these women's stories. And at the end of the chapters, there's questions, you know, for study groups and that too. So it made it good that way. God is good all the time, and hope lives here. So that was really out of life experiences from other people and that. So I appreciated that so much. And of course, everyone who shared a story with me got a book, you know, and they would share those with others. You know, and that's a good thing too, just in a marketing sense, if you want to think of it that way, but also in a ministry sense. You know, it's always tricky. It's just a challenge sometimes. The ministry and the marketing. The 2 things, I don't know if you're into it enough that you understand the dichotomy of the challenge of it all. But it is so difficult sometimes to know when you want to be in ministry, but yet you have to market too. And so there's the 2 things. And sometimes they come together, and that's wonderful when that can happen too.